Hi, Andy here at the Bike Insurer, and today is a very special day. We have here the ARCH KRGT-1. It's come all the way from the States. There's only a few available in the UK. We're going to ride it today and we're going to tell you what we think.
Well, welcome on board. Before we get going, I just want to show you a few things on this bike that make it incredibly special. And really with this, it's all about the detail. These bikes are no two are the same. So everything on it is custom, and when you buy one of these, they tailor it for you. So if you want certain riding position, i.e. the pegs or the handlebars, certain equipment, they sort all that out for you. If you're going to buy one, then you pay a deposit, and then you contact the factory via a video call. And in some cases, they might even fly you out there to meet Guard and the guys that build the bike, and you talk about the spec and what you want on it, and then it comes. So just things about this that make it insanely cool. The wheels, for example, full carbon fibre on the front, ISR billet aluminium front calipers, fully spec'd Öhlins for this bike, which are partly to blame for how it feels so good when you ride. They are specifically set for this bike. But even things like the billet, brake and gear levers on the feet, the completely billet aluminium case around the engine casings, and even that tank is originally one piece of solid aluminium, and then it has been machined and milled and whatever it is they do with it to turn it into what it is today. So that means that you have no joins and no seams, no weld marks. It's just one solid piece of metal with a big hole in it for your fuel. And the same sort of thing applies for the rear subframe and the frame of the bike as well. Again, it's all completely bespoke and custom to ARCH. And again, that rear wheel is insane, and it's carbon fibre. I mean, have you ever seen a carbon fibre rear wheel like that? But just the attention to detail is just so good. The way they put the whole thing together it's just really a work of art. So I found with this bike that, well, actually with other bikes similar, that you can leave them somewhere. And people will look at them and, you know, check them out for a while. This is a bike that's kept people looking the longest. I've never known people to linger for so long around this, and I think that's because there's just so much to take in when you look at it. Just the detail is insane. So one thing that's worth noting as well with this is obviously the key is really trick. Again, really nice piece of alley on the handle, but really the detail goes all the way through. So you've got this nice element here with the seat, the stitching. It's just the detail, but when you take the seat off, everything's so neatly laid out underneath the seat. But one of the things is the toolkit, which is under here. I'll take my glove off and I'll show you. Hopefully you'll see this. So there's a little pouch in there, a holder, obviously your automatic charger and fuse boxes and all the rest of it, but you have this, which is the toolkit. And you have spare fuses. It even comes with a little torch, which is this here, so if you're in the dark you can see things nice. Another really nice anodized piece, and obviously the toolkit here with the socket and the socket for the main bolts that the bike has. But that's like handmade, so just really nice. So let's take it for a ride. And one of the things I just noticed actually is this number under here, number 32, ARCH, bike serial number. So as soon as you sit on it, you feel in a good position. The seat's quite flat. It's quite supportive under your bum. Some of the things is nice. So as soon as you sit on it, you get this sort of feeling about being on something a bit special, and that comes from the clocks in front of you, the bars, the way that the double fill tank is there, and again these are Rizoma details, some accessories on here like the indicators of Rizoma. But when you start it, the first thing you notice is the weight of the clutch and the angular shape of the levers. just make it feel really meaty. And obviously the thing throbs like a beast. So Moto Gadget there on the dash doing its thing. Dry clutch, which you can hear as soon as you let the clutch out. And my entire body is moving right now with the inertia from this engine. So it's a bigger than 2 litre motor. V-Twin. So a clunker into gear, and I'm okay with this riding position actually. I feel my hands are quite close together, quite forward, but I feel in a good spot. I'm not too low to the ground. Some of these bikes you really feel like you're sat on the floor. And the induction rule when you rev and the bike surges is just incredible. So lifting the right foot up to reach for the rear brake. Check I've taken everything with me. And the bike feels really light. So you're on an absolute beast here, but it doesn't feel like you're on a beast. I mean, in terms of weight, it doesn't feel like a big heavy lump. And you're just getting this vibration, which is not uncomfortable. It's really nice. Just telling you that you're on something really, really nice, something a bit special. And it just corners effortlessly. And needless to say, the acceleration is as you would want it. It's right there. But the bike feels really composed. So the bike originally started because Keanu Reeves, famous celebrity, A-lister, massive into his bikes, as most of you will know, but wanted to build his own bike, something that was a bit special. And he approached Gard Hollinger, who is world renowned for building bikes for custom, and they got about creating this. And obviously they're a bit further down the line now. They've been going a good few years. And the reason we're testing this bike is because it's now available to buy in the UK. It's a lovely day for a ride. I mean, it couldn't be better. It must be 20 degrees. Blue sky, tiny bit of cloud. Just feel this bike just thundering away underneath you. It's really raw. I've got to tell you that this is this makes noises that no other bike I've ridden makes. And I've ridden the Victories, the Royal Enfields, and the Indians, and they all have a factory feel at the end of the day. Like, they obviously feel like what they're designed to do, but they feel a bit clean. This feels and makes noises like it's handmade. The induction roar, the whining from the fueling, but it just holds the road so well. Effortless acceleration as you'd expect, but just the bike throbbing, the noise from the exhaust. Check out the view. So some other things to tell you about the bike is the S&S engine. So it's a big lump, 2.3 litre, 2.03 litre. It is an off-the-shelf unit, but it's a bit special. It's tuned for ARCH. I've got to say, actually, this bike feels good at slow speed as well. It doesn't feel lumpy to me. I mean, we're in 5th gear, 30 miles an hour, and I'm not using the clutch at all to smooth out the changes in the throttle. Acceleration is addictive. And so some other things to know about the bike is that it was designed to be a sports cruiser. So I'm sure you'll know this, but what that means is that you can cruise on it, but you can also handle, and you can have some fun riding enthusiastically around corners, which is fairly unusual for this sort of bike. Usually handling is a compromise, and they all say that they try and work on it and get it good, but normally they're really long, front end feels vague, but that's okay because it's the sort of bike that it is. But imagine if you could have a bike that you could do distance on comfortably, you look super cool on, but also ride spirited around bends if you want to get that out of your system. And so the Arch as a sports cruiser is designed to do that. I can also feel while I'm riding that the back of the seat, it's got like a back support, they say. It just helps, it means you can lean back against it, so it isn't like a sissy bar, but there is a thing that just comes to the lower back. It's just the curvature of the seat. I can feel that that is actually quite comfortable. So yeah, as a sports cruiser you should be able to hold a line in the corner, which this does without any turbo, any trouble at all. But all the while you're riding it, you're just reminded that you're on something really special. So not only can you feel it through your entire body, you can hear this raw growling at the engine, you can even hear the reduction noise at higher speeds, which is rare. But all you can see is this cool bespoke dash for the Moto Gadget instrument cluster, and the alley billet alley hangers for the front brake and clutch. And then you look down and you see the twin filler caps for the tank, and you remember that that's one solid piece of alley once. You shut down on this and all you hear is burbling and banging, popping. It just makes you grin. So there isn't really a lot of point in talking about money because it's a unique bike, and the people that are going to buy this bike are people that want something that's very different, no one else has got. It's part of Keanu Reeves' stardom, and that sort of customer will pay for that sort of bike, as you would if you built this yourself to this spec. You'd probably spend a lot more than they retail at. I think this one is about 90 grand. I suppose that's the price that you pay for getting something truly unique that's tailored for you. You just cruise on this all day long. So we're nearly at the end of our time with the Arch, and that's pretty sad. It's such a nice bike to ride. Endless acceleration, it's comfortable, it's unique. And that's what's key with this. If you want something that's engineered from the ground up, is not made in a massive factory, where thought and love has gone into its design, then you've got to consider this. And I know that they're busy working on other bikes, so who knows what's going to come next out of the Arch factory.